Hey, come on in. It's the Cardinal Report on NCTV 17. I'm Kevin Jackman. We're hitting the links and meeting the men's golf team today. Coach Steve Sellers is joined by Lincoln Slagle and Steve Grabowski. I also head out to the Merner Field House pool for a chat with Cardinal swimmers Kate Canfield and Julia Albright. We have all that and more next on the Cardinal Report.
The presenting sponsor for the Cardinal Report is Athletico, the preferred provider of physical therapy and athletic training for North Central College.
Welcome in, and first up is Coach Steve Sellers. And Coach, thanks for joining me. You guys are fresh off a trip, and you guys dotted around the East Coast. And did you get enough golf in?
Just about, yeah. We played 9 rounds in 10 days, so that's a good number for a golfer.
That's a lot of fun, and you get to participate as well. You get to golf along with some of your players.
Yes, we do. Yeah, that's one of the perks that we get being coaches, get to play a little golf.
So what was the weather like? Because you guys get to move away from the unpredictable moods of Illinois weather and kind of head out to the east.
It was pretty good. It was cool most mornings, but made it up to near 60 about every day, and I think one of the days made 80, and the kids were in the shorts and so forth, so it was good.
No rain. Yeah, I was just about to say, the best part of that is no rain, so you guys got to play all those rounds.
That's right.
How important are these trips, in your mind, for team building exercises and cohesiveness?
Very important. It's we have to jumpstart in the spring because we're off for so many weeks, and our conference tournament is only 8 weeks in, so we've got to get going. And one of the blessings of this team that we have right now is camaraderie. They really like each other. They have a lot of fun. They had basketball tournaments every night, and they decorated rooms with a variety of festoonery, and so they get along great, and and they cheer for each other, and so it was good trip on that account.
Was it fun seeing how they interacted on the bus for 5-6 hours straight?
The parts that we can talk about that are not censored, yes, it was a lot of fun, yes.
Let's talk about the actual golf, because you guys did pretty well on a couple of occasions in the fall, and you guys are trying to carry that into the spring. How difficult is it trying to translate what goes on in October and move it into April?
Well, in the past it has been difficult, but with a partnership with Topgolf, and we just purchased a thing called a launch monitor, we can stay kind of informed through the winter. And whereas in past years we were searching for our games in the first couple of weeks, we pretty much had those. It was just fine tuning.
Now you guys have a pretty young team right now, but you have a leader, Lincoln Slagle, as a senior. Is it nice to be able to look up and find somebody who can kind of lead on the course?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he leads in every aspect, in the classroom, which is number one for us, and then on his demeanor on the practice tee and on the course. And I mean, he made academic All-American last year, which is a very difficult level to reach. And so everyone knows by watching his habits that if they do that, they can get there too.
You also have a junior, Glenn Miller, who is kind of waiting in the wing to emerge as well. He and Lincoln are your top 2 golfers, top 2 scorers. Nice to know that once Lincoln leaves as a senior that you'll have somebody to step into his shoes.
Oh, absolutely. Glenn has grown enormously from the first day he walked on campus. He was an outstanding golfer. He nearly made all conference as a freshman, and he has, in his own unique way, picking up the mantle of leadership, and he's getting really good grades in a very difficult major in chemistry. So
wow.
So wow is right. So yes, it's great to have Glenn on board.
I'm sure he's enjoying the new Science Center as well.
Oh yeah, we all are. We all are, absolutely.
Pretty spectacular building.
Yeah.
Now I want to talk specifically about a former player of yours that's now an assistant coach. Eric Gruber is on the staff. Is it nice to have somebody with experience playing now translate that into coaching?
Absolutely. Eric brings a relationship with the kids that old guys can't bring, and again, he had a top 10 scoring average record, and again, those kinds of habits go through the entire team when they see that. And plus, he's got a great sense of humor, which takes the edge off everything, too.
Kind of helps.
Yes, very much so.
Now, you mentioned the fact that he has that perspective. Is it also helpful for the golfers to see him from previous years? Because he started that weight regimen. Not started, but he kind of helped kickstart it. Has that continued, and is it helpful? Have you seen it help some of the guys?
Definitely. We have undergone a significant cultural change since the first day that Eric came on board. Workouts were optional. Very few of the athletes worked out at all. And now this entire winter, it was a requirement. If you were going to go on the trip, you had to have a workout regimen and a diary. And if you didn't do that, you didn't get to go on the trip. And everyone stepped up and did that. So. And Eric is a leader in that area.
That's awesome. Before I let you go, I want to go back, and this is actually footage from not this past season, but the year before. We got a couple of plays, rather a couple of shots from Link. Typically they're plays, but these are shots.
Right.
But before we get to that, it's time for Check the Tape.
This Cardinal Report segment is sponsored by M&M Rentals.
First shot I want to get to is an approach shot from Lincoln, maybe 150 yards out or so, and able to generate some backspin on this and stick it on the green. So what exactly is going through his mind when he approaches this shot?
Well, remembering that tournament, it wasn't very windy, so he could be really aggressive in going for that pin. Normally you would kind of bail away from that because if you miss left, you're in trouble. So first he evaluates the risk, and then he tries to put the swing on it that gives him the best chance for birdie, which he really did in that case there.
And now here's another shot. He's on the green, not the same hole, but kind of the same distance. And this is one of the tougher putts because you're not close enough for a gimme. You're certainly not allowed to pick up your ball. But you're also not far enough away where it's acceptable to miss the putt.
Right, exactly.
So what's going on here?
Well, usually in Lincoln's case, he just sticks to his routine, which all of us should do. When you're doing a putt like that counts. Weekend golfers, we usually don't care if we miss those, but when you're in a tournament and you're trying to score and post something, you have to get into your routine and stay with that routine and trust it, and that usually gets the results that you want.
Now, you see a lot of golfers, and when I watch you guys, you do the same thing, reading the green from multiple perspectives. What does that allow you to do?
Well, putting is one of the hardest things to do in golf. It's half of a par score that you see. When you see par 72, 36 of those are putts. So, so it is really one of the most difficult parts of the game. And you're trying to understand what the ball is going to do as it gets around the hole, as it goes down a slope, and so forth. And if you make a mistake, you want to make a good mistake if you're on a green.
I've always found it funny that golf, you have a 500-yard hole, and you may spend 2 or 3 shots to get to the green, and then you may spend 3 or 4 more shots trying to get it into the tiny little hole.
Yes.
That's always my problem, at least.
Yes, and we've seen that happen.
Last one is a drive, and I want to talk about the mechanics of the drive. This is Eric Gruber. You're now assistant coach, and solid drive right down the fairway.
Yeah, I wish with Eric we could have seen a before and after. You would see from when he was a freshman to that swing there. One is he put on a lot of muscle because he was so dedicated to working out. And the other is he completely remade his swing. He dedicated right from the very beginning of his career to being competitive at that level, which is, showed up in his results again, having one of the top 10 scoring averages in the history of the college. So it wasn't by accident. So what you see there is a very effortless swing down the line towards the target, and you can see with his body language, very confident that those things are going to work out. So.
Well, Coach, thanks for stopping by, and best of luck in the next 6 weeks. You guys have just about that left in the season.
Yes, we do. Thanks very much.
Appreciate it. Coming up next, we have a couple of golfers hopping on set. We'll be right back. Senior Lincoln Slagle and sophomore Steve Grabowski are here on set. And guys, welcome. And you guys just got back from a spring trip break, and you guys played a lot of golf. Did you guys have fun?
Oh yeah, it was awesome. It was golf every day but one day, so 9 rounds in 10 days. It's pretty much living the dream.
It's not enough, is it?
Never enough, no.
So what is it like? Because you guys are in a bus and you guys are kind of making pit stops along the way. Is it nice to be able to stop and play around and then stretch out the legs and get back on the bus?
Yeah. So basically every day we drove 5 hours, played. Next day drove 5 hours, played, and it's kind of nice because we get to see Ohio, Tennessee, and North Carolina. So 3 kind of different types of golf, I guess you would say. And it gets greener as we go, so that's also nice. But that part's great, so we don't have to like that 15-hour drive, in one stop.
Straight through.
Yeah, that's what we do on the way back, and that's not necessarily the most fun thing. So.
Yeah. Steve, was it nice being able to kind of get away from the Midwest weather and head out to the East Coast and stop along the way?
Yeah, it was real nice. Even though it was kind of warmer this winter, it was last year on our trip we didn't have such good weather. It was cold and raining. It was like, I think 40s a few of the days. And this time we got to wear shorts most of the days, so I thought it was much better.
I want to ask you guys about this because it's the spring and it's so unpredictable. Do you guys have like 15 different outfits that you guys bring with you to the course?
Yeah, I know for a fact that one of our teammates, Glenn Miller, he had to pack his bag tight, and he said it was because he got made fun of a few years ago because his bag was so big. But most of us ended up bringing bigger bags because you do need all the clothes. You need your rain gear, you need your shorts, you need your pants and your pullovers and your jackets. So yeah, you need to be prepared for all of it.
What is the perfect golf weather for you?
For me, I like a little cooler. I like 65 and cloudy. Yeah. I'm not a fan of sun. 65 cloudy and no wind. That's ideal for me.
I heard you got a lot of that on this trip too.
Yeah, it was perfect. Yeah.
So you were probably really happy.
Yeah, I like the shorts where you're not hot. You get to wear shorts, but you're not.
Steve, I see you shaking your head a little bit.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with the pants and the t-shirt, but I gotta have the sun. Gotta get that nice tan going.
So I want to get to how the season's going. We'll go to Steve for this one. How you guys feeling? Because obviously you had the fall season, and now you're kind of midway through the spring.
Yeah, so over the winter we actually had a pretty good practice requirements that were needed to go on the spring trip. So those of us that did go on the spring trip, I feel like we were more well prepared than last year, and I could definitely feel it with myself, and I know with some of the younger guys, we were all playing much better than we did on last year's trip, and it feels like we're off to a great start for the season.
Is it weird taking that break? Obviously you have to because of the weather, but you're in season and then you have to take a break and then you get back into season. Does it throw you a little bit? Yeah,
well, it's definitely like a no mercy kind of thing because our first tournament was on the trip. It was like 5 rounds into the season. So it's really hard to play your best golf when you're like just coming out of the winter and you haven't been on a course. It's really like your short game that struggles. But it's like right into it. We had 2 tournaments within the first week, and we've got a tournament every weekend now until it's all over. So.
How do you guys prep during the winter? Do you guys go indoors? You got to go to indoor ranges?
Yeah, so we use Topgolf when we want to get outside and kind of see the ball fly. And as of this year now, we have an indoor hitting bay in Merner.
Nice.
We've got a launch monitor that we just got in the fall. We demoed it and then just got it in, I think, November, December time. And that allows us to get feedback inside, so we can hit balls in there rather than being blind. We get full data on everything from ball spin to club angles, everything.
That's awesome.
So,
that's really cool. That helps you out, I'm sure, a ton.
Oh yeah, that's made all the difference, I think, for everybody with their swings, being more prepared. So
now, Steve, I mean, you guys have months to prepare for the fall season, and like Lincoln just said, you have a matter of days to get ready for the spring season. Is that difficult for you guys to do?
Yeah. I think it is for me personally, because although we can go to Topgolf or we could go into Merner and we could hit balls and we could feel good with our irons, the short game is probably the most difficult because you can't really simulate it as well as it is on the course. So the touch and the feel is just not as good as you want it to be.
See, for me, when I'm hitting indoors, I feel really good until I realize that 200 yards in, my ball starts to hook right or slice. It's never a sure thing. You guys are playing well this year. You in particular, your scores are nice. What have you done over the last couple of years to try and improve your game?
Well, I've gone from a lot more of like structural changes to my swing to like really kind of starting to fine tune it. I guess as a senior now, I'm finally getting to that point where I need to like really just nail something down and fine tune it. But also, we've worked a lot more on mental, the aspect of it, and also preparing for the course that we go to. We have a lot more in-depth like looks at the course. We use everything from Google Earth to yardage books, everything to really prepare and plan ahead for each tournament. So
now, Steve, you're in your second year of golf. Have you felt that kind of jump being a college athlete from year one to year two?
Oh yeah. Last year, I would say I was a little less involved with the program and practicing, but this year I feel like I've really stepped it up, and now that I'm eligible to practice at Naperville Country Club, I just feel like I fit more into the team and am able to practice more efficiently and more often.
So you guys are a pretty young team, and you're a part of that as well. Is that fun, having that kind of youthful vibrance to the kind of the atmosphere?
Yeah, I really like it, and I guess it bodes well for our future. In a couple of years, I think our underclassmen are going to be a really strong team. But yeah, it's really fun to see. I think we have something like 12 or 13 freshmen and sophomores, and it's really cool to see them like in their experience out of high school, because I remember how it was for me when it was my first couple of years. It's like a whole new world. So.
And have you noticed how the leadership has kind of helped you grow over the last 2 years? Yeah,
last year I think we only had 3 freshmen, and this year we have, what, 10 or 9?
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah, so with that, I could really see like Lincoln stepping up, and then even Glenn and some of the older guys, they're all stepping up and helping us out. And you see each level of class, so like the juniors are helping me, and I'm trying to help the freshmen as best as I can.
Now, before I let you guys go, we're going to do the quick hits. So 3 or 4 questions that have nothing to do with golf. We'll start with Lincoln for this first one. I'll actually go to both of you on this first one. Your top show to binge watch right now?
How I Met Your Mother, for sure.
Nice.
Yeah, I could watch that pretty much all day. So,
Steve?
Between me, I'd have to go between The Office and Parks and Recreation, but I'd have to give it to The Office.
Nice. I mean, those are 2 classic shows. You can't go wrong with either one. Lincoln, we'll go to you on this one because I know you're ready for it. Dream car?
It's hard for me to choose, but I've had a poster of a Ferrari F40 on my wall for years now. So that's definitely got to be the top one if I really had to nail it down to one. But
do you like daydream about pulling up to a golf course in a Ferrari?
Well, my golf clubs wouldn't fit, so there better be a locker there or something.
We'll go to Steve for this one. If you could be a pro athlete in a sport other than golf, what would that sport be?
Definitely would have to go to the NHL and play pro hockey. Not the best hockey player, but I'd enjoy it.
Do you play growing up?
Yeah, I played a little bit, and I play recreationally with my friends still, so that's something I do. Yeah.
Last question. This is kind of a fun mind bender. If you're on an island, you have 1 food and 1 drink that you can have. What food and what drink are you going to bring with you?
Oh, man. Maybe after our North Carolina trip, I'm going to pick sweet tea and some ribs.
Ribs?
So we experienced some good barbecue there.
So you're inspired by the trip?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I did say sweet tea earlier, so I feel a little robbed. But I would stay with the sweet tea, and I'd probably go with cheeseburgers.
Nice.
Yeah.
You can mix it up too. Different toppings. There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, guys, thanks for hopping on. Best of luck the rest of the season. And it was fun to talk to you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Coming up next, we go out to Merner Field House Pool. We'll be right back on the Cardinal Report.
This Cardinal Report segment is presented by Belgio's Catering.
Here at the Merner Field House Pool, Julie Albright, Kate Canfield, thank you guys for joining me. Have a fun year. Did you guys enjoy this past season? We'll go to Julie first.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, especially compared to like the past 3 years. It was definitely different, but it was way more fun.
What about it? Just the team, your teammates?
Yeah, just like the people on the team, and then like the stuff that we did together we did a lot more like team activities and hanging out. So
that's fun. Kate, you guys were pretty successful this year on the women's side. Was that enjoyable to be a part of?
Yeah, it really was. And like coming from a different school, like this team was a way different atmosphere, and I really enjoyed that. And everyone supported each other. So.
Coming from that different school, did you kind of expect this kind of environment when you decided to come to North Central?
No, I actually didn't really have any expectations. But like it's just a lot different, I guess. But.
Julie, a lot of successful races for you guys, and the two of you were extremely successful in your own rights this year. Take us through some of your accomplishments that you're able to have this past season.
I think my biggest one was probably like my 100 backstroke, because that's like the closest. I was only like a couple 100ths off of my best time. That's the closest I've been to a best time in like years. So like that was really exciting for me.
And then what were your teammates' reactions to that? Because I'm sure they knew that you were gunning for it, right?
Yeah, everyone was really excited. Actually, I think I got the most response though after like our 400 free relay, like our last relay. I don't know, I swam a lot faster than I thought I would, and like I came back and everyone was like super excited about it, which made me feel really good.
That's awesome. Kate, you were in the same boat where, I mean, continually winning races and being up there with the top competitors. Was that fun for you to be one of the top competitors in the CCIW?
Yeah, it really was, especially because like no one knew who I was really. Like I kind of came out of nowhere, so that was pretty fun. And like based off my times last year, I was a lot faster this year, so that was exciting. What
was it? Was it just training in the off season, or were you just feeling more relaxed?
I think like a little bit more relaxed, and just being in like a more supportive environment really helped.
And then as a team, you said that you guys were doing a lot of stuff out of the pool. Can you take me through any of the stuff that you guys were doing?
Well, we went downtown Chicago and it was freezing, which was brutal. But like we just hang out like in people's rooms or like at people's houses and stuff like that.
And you guys are pretty close to the men's team as well, aren't you?
Yeah, we all would hang out together and stuff.
Is that kind of nice? I mean, I feel like most schools, it's the women's program and the men's program. Is it nice to be able to have that kind of cohabitation, I guess?
Yeah,
definitely.
I couldn't even imagine it if it was like separated. It'd be so weird.
Now, what is the environment like during practice? Is it quiet? Is it workmanlike? Or is it fun and light?
It's definitely not quiet. Yeah. It's pretty supportive. Like there's those practices that are just like brutal and people have a bad attitude, but like it happens.
And you guys do two-a-days as well, don't you? I mean, the heart of the season, you guys are practicing 6 a.m.?
Yeah.
And then again in the afternoon. That's got to be pretty rigorous.
It is, but I feel like you just get used to it. Like it's almost worse if you miss a morning practice because then like your body gets kind of out of it. Like once you start, like once you get in the routine, you get used to it and then.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What's the hardest workout you guys do?
Short rest.
Or descending 100s.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think the men's also said that.
That's just
I
hard,
think
like
it's
mentally.
yeah.
Because wait, you have to go back and forth, and each time you get less time.
You get like you drop a second each time.
And then you just like keep going until you don't make it.
I'd be out in like the first 3 laps. That wouldn't even be funny. This is actually a true story. In high school, my PE teacher asked me if I wanted to come out for the swim team. I said, sure. How many people make it? He goes, oh, we don't make cuts. People cut themselves. And I go, who would cut themselves? So I show up for practice. Half an hour in, I got out of the pool and I cut myself.
Half an hour is pretty good. Like.
What are the road trips like? Because you guys go around to different schools. You guys have a lot of fun with bus trips?
Yeah, our first one was very crazy.
Oh yeah.
Just like really loud music and like everyone screaming at the top of their lungs.
Karaoke, I'm guessing, or is it just kind of dubbing over the songs on the bus?
Everyone just sings over it.
Yeah.
And then, so I heard Coach was telling me that you guys are training for the half marathon. So you guys are getting out of the pool, and we'll ask Kate this first. What has that been like, that transition?
Oh, it's hard. Like, I can get into swimming shape within like 2 weeks, but like it's still hard for me to run a mile.
And you guys ran 7 yesterday?
Yesterday, yeah.
I mean, that's got to be pretty hard, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really hard.
We're feeling it, trust me.
Yeah.
And you only have 3 weeks until.
Yeah.
You guys feeling confident?
A little
We'll
bit.
get there.
It's definitely easier, like having both of us. Because like I did one a couple years ago and it was just me and like it was really hard running that long by yourself. But like with both of us, it's a lot easier.
Easier to kind of keep going, and especially training wise, I'm sure it's nice to have a partner.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. I appreciate it, and best of luck in the marathon.
Thank you.
It's time for this week's Play of the Game. With the North Central men's volleyball team riding a 4-match winning streak and a 12-set winning streak, they dominate Loras at home to extend both runs by winning 3-0. In the hunt for the conference tourney, the Cardinals stay hot and take home the second straight Cardinal Report Play of the Week.
On that one. Page, far side, big hit. Braceros dives and saves it. Kraus over the net, finds the middle of the floor, and the Cardinals win a big point.
That's all the time we have. Thanks so much for my guests for coming in. Don't forget to check back and go to our website, nctv17.com, for individual segments. I'm Kevin Jackman. Thanks for tuning in.